Hey, my name is Jobby, and we're looking at the TransArt BWM-10 Dino Claw, also known as Dion Claw. Dion, know why they did that. And just like a previous figure that I had to suffer through, which I highly recommend you watch that review, I'll be referring back to it a lot. This figure is also a third-party version of the character Dinobot II from Beast Wars. Except this guy's transformation isn't complete ass. So if you want this guy at any point, links in the description. You'll also find Surfshark VPN. Browsing the web with a virtual private network allows you to browse while knowing all your important stuff is private, secure, and protected. Like your emails, your passwords, your Dinobot backshots. Plus, Surfshark does way more than protect your privacy. You can virtually travel the world by changing your IP address. You got a choice of over 3,200 servers in 100 countries. Use that to get better deals online. Some stores change their prices depending on where you're shopping from. Or if you live in a country where access to certain content is censored, I'm sure not every country F's with Twitter, you can change your location to a country with no censorship. And now you'll be able to freely scroll through your favorite brain-dead political takes. Surfshark VPN also includes Surfshark Alert, letting you know when your sensitive information's been compromised in any way. It's available to download on iOS, Android, Mac, Windows, Linux, just about everything. So click the link in the description to get 4 extra months free of Surfshark VPN. And if you're not satisfied with your backshots, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. And right out of the box, this figure passes the vibe check. Super solid, and he looks great. I'd even say that the painting and the sculpting on this figure is amazing. TransArt, you did it again. An impressively show-accurate rendition of this excellent design. Well, technically, he's not 100% show-accurate when you look at them side by side, but if the alternative is... I'll gladly accept these somewhat blocky proportions. Still feels like the character to me, and you probably wouldn't even have noticed if I hadn't brought it up. And the colors here are still on point. The white is also slightly pearlescent, and the crimson chrome is also very clean. And TransArt knows it because you do get an included pair of gloves. But fuck that. I always go in raw. Which is why I'm still single. Flattened out beast mode head here again, just like DB01, also incorporates the actual beast mode snout. Only this time I feel completely comfortable saying that this is a brilliant piece of engineering, and you'll see how brilliant the engineering is later. And just like the original 90s toy, this guy's spark chamber opens up. No Predacon symbol because, you know, if I remember correctly, this is the spark of the Predacon Rampage. When are we getting a Rampage TransArt, please? You also get a sheet of stickers to make it look a bit more sparky. No thanks. And the head sculpt here is fantastic. You can just hear Scott McNeil insert bad impression here. That's all he does, right? No light up feature here, always a bummer, but some bright red paint makes up for that. And while we're at the eyes, you just jam that beam effect part into his cyber eye. You also get this egg. Oh shit. And it could transform. That's a bit tight. Ow, 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 ow. In this joint here. And I think that's correct. Looks cool. You could even shove the eye beam in here. Can't say I remember the context of this thing. Was there an egg laying scene I missed? Please let me know. I need to see Dinobot's cloaca. And you get a card. That's on the back. Even the back kibble here, while not as clean as Dinosaur Warrior, isn't the worst either. Probably not the most show accurate, but it doesn't matter too much because again, hard to find Dinobot 2 backshots. Please give me more Dinobot backshots. Chat. Cloaca. Unfortunately, the backpack here isn't the most solid. It's not the worst. It still stays in position as long as you don't bother it, but it doesn't stay put as tightly as it used to. There were 2 tiny thin pegs here that plugged into these back nozzles, and that allowed for a very solid connection. But the downside to that is when I went to pull it out, the pegs came off with it. They were stuck in these holes for a while. Had to get some pliers to pull them out. Not the best design. These tiny pegs should have been made out of die-cast metal. So just use a little more caution than I did when pulling this backpack off. You don't want to pull it off at an angle like that. You want to make sure that the backpack moves straight out. But again, should have been die-cast metal. Speaking of, there's quite a bit of metal here, which contributes a lot of heft. And the figure overall, minus the backpack, is solid. Which, as you can imagine, makes this figure satisfying to pose. Tight ball joint at the head. Every ball joint can be a swivel, so tight that I can't swivel it too fast. Hinge joint at the base of the neck allows them to look up that far and look down that far. Opening mouth. Shoulder pads on a hinge joint ball joint combo. It ain't gonna break anytime soon, and that gives it a fairly unlimited range of movement. Arm moves out. rotation at the shoulder, bicep swivel, hinge joint here, but that's more for the beast mode, bend at the elbow, swivel at the wrist, hinge joint at each of his claws, ow shit, and a mid-claw hinge joint at each of them as well. So he can actually make a fist really nice. You don't get a waist swivel per se, more like a crotch swivel. Still works, although you do have to unpeg the tail to get that working. Not the worst, but not my favorite piece of engineering. Hinge joint at the base of the tail, and you get 7 ball joints in total for the tail, and they hold their position pretty well. Nice, natural, curvy poses every ball joint can be. Rotation at the hips, can't move back that far. A beautiful spread, thigh swivel, bend at the knee, mid shin bend, again more for the beast mode, and a mid calf swivel. Nice. Hinge joint at each toe, including the back one. Feet gun hinge joint and articulated toes once again. Oh. And despite glaring lack of an ankle pivot, posability is great. You can move the toes in a way that still gets them some wide stances. He really should have just had pivots though. Besides that, there was really no joints here that I felt the need to fix. Nothing felt too loose or too tight. Doesn't happen often with third-party figures. Not once did I bring out any sort of sticky substance. Also, really digging how big this guy is. Size comparison time. Here's Figma Madoka Kaname, Haya Toys Godzilla, the Magic Square Light of Peace Not Optimus Prime, the original Dinobot 2 from the 90s, TransArt Metal T-Rex, this time they actually scale, MP41 Dinobot, and the Black Mamba Dinosaur Warrior. Personally, I still prefer how Dinosaur Warrior looks over Dino Claw, but Dino Claw has the perfect balance of aesthetic, stability, and a transformation that doesn't make me want to buy an assault weapon. Just scan this QR code and that should link you to a Mang Motion video, which it didn't. Fuck, just look it up yourself on YouTube. I miss booklets, man. Wow. That's what I'm talking about. A complex transformation that's still satisfying. Solid, chunky pieces move seamlessly without feeling it's gonna explode at any moment. This is what a transformer should feel like. Not only was the process fun, the beast mode is awesome. Though not as proportionate as Dinosaur Warrior, it's still a convincing Roboraptor. And for comparison, I'm using footage of my previous review because no way in hell I'm transforming that MF again. The hands on this guy are posable enough to hide the fact that they were robot mode feet, though they look a bit big to my eye. Proportion compromise to keep the transformation as seamless as possible, I'm cool with it. And the dinosaur legs here are also more obviously robot mode arms, but they still look the part, which I can also say about the original toy, not bad at all. And the head sculpt here is just beautiful. Not as hollow as the original toy or Dinosaur Warrior, and it actually stays put together. Oh shit. And going back to the legs, they may look a bit more like robot mode arms, but they function more like legs than Dinosaur Warrior could ever hope, in that he doesn't have trouble standing up. Those ratchet joints ensure that he can hold a variety of poses. Swivel here. Mouth could open really wide. Tight hinge joint at the jaw allows him to look up and look down. Another hinge joint here and here allows him to look even more up. Hinge joint here that I feel should have snapped in somehow. Another hinge joint here allows the arm to move in and out. Arm can rotate. And there should have been a swivel here. Why not? Bend at the elbow. Elbow swivel. And articulated fingers, which were of course the toes. Thigh panels, which used to be the shoulder pads, are still fully articulated. And the articulation at the leg is the exact same as the robot mode arm, even allowing for a beautiful spread. And the tail, again, exact same thing. Posability here is good. Nothing super crazy, but enough to get a decent variety of displays. And he looks pretty great already in a neutral pose, which is perfect for our size comparison. Monica Godzilla Prime, OG, not Megatron, Dinobot, and... No. Get this figure if you're a Beast Wars fan. This is the masterpiece scale Dinobot 2 figure of your dreams. Now, he is a bit pricier than the alternative. But then again, the alternative is... I'm not gonna transform this guy for a size comparison. I can't do it. Why would I break my hands and potentially my mind for a shot that won't even last a second? Hey, my name is Jobby, and why is she so damn fine?